Saludos a todos y todas las guardaparques. And I'm very happy to be addressing this important gathering. And I'm sorry I'm not able to be there with you in person today. The welfare of rangers is an issue close to my heart. In fact, Rangers has been with me at every step of my professional career. From a young law student learning about conservation in Costa Rica through my time in government and in politics. And still today in my role leading the Global Environment Facility, the world's biggest funder of national parks and nature restoration projects. During my time as head of Costa Rica National Park Service and as a 3-time Minister of Environment, I learned that protecting wild spaces is not just about acres and dollars. It's also about labor and people. Good working conditions, training, fair pay, and benefits, equipment, and infrastructure are all essential for rangers to do their important jobs well. Therefore, global efforts to conserve nature and meet ambitious global biodiversity targets depend on the welfare of these committed men and women. The work rangers do is essential to ecosystems and communities in the face of all kinds of different challenges. Despite this, rangers are underestimated and undervalued. The State of the Ranger report reflects that many rangers are working without the resources they need, including personal, facilities, training, information, and technology. In my current role as the CEO of the Global Environment Facility, I also see and understand this challenge from an international perspective. In case you're not familiar with the GEF, we are the largest public funder of environment and conservation in the world, in the ocean and in the land. And over the past 3 decades, we have financed the creation and maintenance of national parks, which together are larger than the size of Brazil. We invest over $1 billion a year, and today we have an active portfolio of over $8 billion. And the GEF funding attracts additional outside finance from other donors and from private sector, helping countries to meet ambitious global conservation goals, including Target 3 of the Global Biodiversity Framework. That is the target of effectively conserving at least 30% of land and seas worldwide by 2030, also known as 30 plus 30. When we make this investment, we are focused on true sustainability. That is, with the vision that national parks created or improved today will still be in place as refuges for nature and for people for many future generations. For us, conservation is not just about, lines on a map and legal designation, which, if left at that, will be considered paper parks. But instead, it is about deliverable, well-financed actions on the ground, in protected areas and other effective area-based conservation measures, such as indigenous and community lands, at a sufficient scale and sustained over time. Further, to meet the 30 plus 30, the approach must be effective, equitable, and inclusive. Strong and sustained partnership with rangers is central to this, and we recognize that rangers are essential to reach not only the 30% target, but many other conservation and greenhouse gas emission reduction targets. I would also like to take a minute to acknowledge the role that protected areas and the people who take care of them, including you as rangers, which play an important development element beyond the conservation of biodiversity targets. Also, research has shown again and again that protected and conserved areas can be an engine for growth and human development with economic, governance, and health benefits, and are essential for us to adapt to a change in the climate. But none of this ambition at the global level will be realized and have lasting results without resources and support from rangers. Progress towards the 30% goal requires a competent, well-resourced, and strategically deployed ranger force with the training and mandate to work hand-in-hand with local and indigenous stewards of nature. These prerequisites are not yet in place, and these require the right planning, the right institution, and the right investment at the proper time. That is, right now. As we know, the need is great, the financial gap is large, so we need to be strategic, decisive, and innovative. Countries have clear, albeit unrealized, incentive to invest in the ranger force and in protected and conserved areas, but as we know, there is a lot of competition for public money, both within a country and internationally. The GEF is working with countries to align all public and private investment for nature-positive, carbon-neutral, pollution-free development and ensure planning and decision-making is connected and coherent. What does this mean? For instance, it means the elimination of harmful subsidies and bringing together ministries related to environmental management under the same roof, and for multiple stakeholders to inform decision-making to avoid perverse environmental outcomes and to achieve common development goals. Doing this will decrease investment in activities that are driving nature loss and climate change, such as unsustainable practices in energy, agriculture, infrastructure, fishing, and logging. It will also free up domestic resources for nature-positive activity, including investment in protected and conserved areas and those who manage them, primarily rangers. So the GEF has been working for decades to build sustainable systems of protected areas around the world, including in the Amazon, in Central Asia, in Central America, in East Africa, you name it, where I had the pleasure to meet rangers and be able to talk and work with them and understand much better those realities. An important example of what we do is the Global Wildlife Program, through which the GEF has helped more than 90 sites strengthening anti-poaching measures, resulting in less damage to nature and wildlife. Our training has helped more than 50,000 law enforcement and wildlife management personnel, including rangers, do their job in safer, more inclusive, and more effective ways. One of my favorite parts of my job today is meeting and speaking with rangers. The conservations I have had during forest walk and boat rides to remote islands will stay in me in many different ways and will continue to motivate me to do better in my work. The GEF is also working alongside URSA and IRF by increasing the awareness and capacity of GEF partners on rangers' welfare, including the Rangers' Code of Conduct and Standards. I will conclude now, as I know you have an important work to do together in the coming days. Despite persistent challenges, I would like to leave you on a more of a positive note. There are reasons for hope and signs that more and more governments are making needed investment to ensure that rangers are recognized as essential workers for nature. People who need to carry out their work with dignity and in safety. Benefits and provision, including regular pay, life insurance policies, uniform, and access to hygienic sanitary facilities and clean drinking water are crucial and important. Most rangers are now paid at least minimum wage, with income adequate to cover basic needs, but that is enough. We are seeing an increased wide array of training opportunities available to rangers, covering topics including emergency response, first aid, field skill, and the use of high technology and specialized equipment. Women are making up an increasing share of rangers and are reporting that they are paid the same as their male colleagues and have sufficient on-site measures to ensure their inclusion and safety at work. There remains a great deal to do to ensure that rangers are recognized and supported fully for the important role they play even in adversity. To safeguard wildlife and ecosystem, protected and conserved areas need solid workforce standards and human and supportive working conditions. Behind each statistic, in reports, and in presentation, there is a person, one of you, working to protect nature and support local communities. But we need more governments, more donors, and civil society partnering up to prioritize continued improvement in rangers' working conditions and welfare globally, which is a vital piece for the 30% puzzle and, quite frankly, for the future of our planet and ourselves. Thank you, and I wish you all the best for a successful Rangers Congress, y muchos saludos a todos ustedes. Muchas gracias.